Good afternoon, everyone. This is Queenie Clem with Queenie's Book Talk and Reviews, and I am your literary ambassador. And today on my panel for the Father's Day panel, I have CaNon Harper and Joshua Carter. Welcome, 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 welcome.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
All right, CaNon, tell us a little about yourself.
CaNon Harper, as you said, a father of three, two boys and a girl. 45 years old. Basically, I'll be 45 in October. I love writing. I found it to be therapeutic as I was going through the troubled times while I was incarcerated. I was able to vent and put a lot of things down on paper, and it was made me feel so much better. And then I got to a point where I was able to touch on certain issues that mean a lot to me. And that's, I just found, that to be my passion.
All right, thank you. And Joshua?
Yeah, Josh Carter, 31 years old from Greenville, father of two. My son is 7, soon to be 7. My daughter, 8 months old, just had a baby girl. Just everyday hardworking guy, man. That's it.
All right, first question. How did you feel when you found out that you were going to be a father, Josh?
With my son, I was 25, 26. It was unexpected, to say the least. So I had a range of emotions, mixed emotions, happiness, shock, fear, you know what I'm saying? Just trying to process it all. But, as time grew, I learned how to be a father. I'm still learning how to be a father day by day. So just different experiences, but it's just a different range of emotions. Like I said, mixed emotions.
Okay. CaNon?
I guess I wasn't upset about it. It was just so unexpected.
Once I held them.
As time went on, I became more excited, especially when I found out it was going to be a boy. I was 19 years old, so of course, I wanted a little mini me, and I looked forward to being a father. As Josh said, it's something that we continue to learn. Because of my life choices, I have removed myself from the situation, unfortunately. And of course, my kids suffered from it, but now my youngest son, he lives with me, so I'm getting to embrace the full-time parent role every day, and I love it.
Okay. What is manhood to you, CaNon?
First and foremost, taking care of responsibilities and displaying what a real man is, not the fictional image that we try to present in entertainment. It's working, providing, giving good advice, even if it might not be what you may really feel, but it may be the right thing. And going on and trying to set an example as a man, so your kids are good people. And that's the main thing, is to just be a good human being. And I hadn't always been that example, even though I cared and loved my children and provided. I wasn't setting a good example, and that's when my failure as a father kicked in. So being a man is just being true to who you are and teaching your children, showing your daughter how she's supposed to be treated by her seeing your relationships, and showing your son the way to be a man and the way he should treat a woman. And you're that example.
Okay. Josh, same question. What is manhood to you?
Just to piggyback off what he said, just responsibility, leadership, setting an example for your children. Even if giving them advice, even if you hadn't taking your own advice, for your best interest, just leading them in the right way to do things, showing them the right way to do things. Like you said, with your daughter, showing her how she should be treated by a man and handled by a man, and nothing less. Showing your son how to treat a woman, how to move as a man, just responsibilities and taking care of your kids. doing the right thing.
Okay. Why are fathers so important, CaNon?
Well, the father, you're perceived as the strength of your family. Even though that's, as I said, perceived, because that's probably a perception that people have, because physically we may be stronger. But it's kind of like one of those things. I think it was Chris Rock when he said, it's nothing like when you could tell your kids, I'm telling your daddy. And to have someone that's able to be there and guide his family and show the family the way they should be and the way they should present themselves, and that name that they have and that they're carrying on, that's what's really important. And that's what I try to do now that I finally matured and grown as a man. So fathers, we're so important, because at a certain time, young boys, they're going to be men much longer than they were young boys. So after a while, they have to let go of the mother, that what they get from the mother, and see what it's like. Because more times than not, fathers, we kind of a little more grounded in a harsher reality, and we accept it. And I think we sometimes don't mind letting our kids learn harder lessons the way they should, whereas mothers sometimes coddle them. So I think, and that's that balance that you have with mothers and fathers. And as I said in one of my books, there's no greater responsibility given to a man than being a father.
Okay. Josh, why are fathers so important?
I feel like, speaking from the stances of black men and being a father, black fathers, um, I guess the picture they try to paint, that, black men are not in their children's lives. Black men, the black fathers absent from the home, whether it be through incarceration, or whether it be through being a deadbeat, or just the picture they try to paint. So I feel like, just us, like you said, being the head of the family, being the head of the household, and setting that example and being there for our children, so they know which way to go. They know, what I'm saying? Like you said, the mom might take it a little easy on them, where dad gonna put that pressure on them, and what I mean, teach them harder than the mother would in that aspect. So it's just important to be there for your kids.
Okay. What do you enjoy most about being a father, Josh?
Spending time with them, watching them grow, watching. Sometimes I just sit and watch them play. You know what I'm saying? Don't say nothing, just watch them play. Just seeing myself in them, and especially my son. Just seeing him, act like me, look like me, move like me, put his hands in his pack, like just watching them grow, just quality time with my son and my daughter, man. Just spend as much time as I can.
Okay. CaNon?
Pretty much like he said, watching them grow, seeing them come into their own. As I've said before, I missed a big chunk of my children's life because of poor decision making and being incarcerated. And as Josh said, which is one of the things that I help feed I help feed a bad stereotype and image by being gone. But when I'm able to just sit back and enjoy watching my son grow up, and the times watching my older children when they were playing with each other, just having fun, and sometimes just sit back, listen to some of the conversations to see what's going on in their life. It's just a great joy to just see them evolve as people.
What do you love? Well, we answered it. What are you teaching your children about life?
Me or Josh?
Was that for me?
Go ahead.
You want me to answer it first?
Yes.
Can you repeat the question one more time, please?
What are you teaching your children about life?
Like I said, my daughter, she's still fairly new, and she's 8 months, so I haven't yet had those conversations with her. But when it comes to my son, like I said, he'll be 7 next month, July. Um, Transitioning from first grade to second grade, life is not easy. Life is hard. You're gonna make mistakes. It's how you bounce back from those mistakes. If you put the work in, you will achieve, pretty much what you want to achieve. Just hard work, keeping at it, don't quit, not quitting, having the right mindset, having a positive mindset. Just trying to instill that into him. Hard work, and life isn't easy by any imagination. The older you get, the more tough it's going to get. You reach a different level. You know what I'm saying? So just hard work and discipline.
Okay, CaNon.
I try to teach one thing with my youngest son is definitely, like Josh said, is the hard work. But I want him to learn to set goals. Unfortunately, I have to let him know that he's going to be a black man in America. So that means anything your white counterparts do or anything they achieve, you can be much better, but you have to work that much harder just to get a fair opportunity. I'm finding it it's a difficult conversation talking to him about the things with the police. As we know, this isn't anything new. It's new to the world because of technology has allowed other people to see what we've been doing since we've been here. So it's hard for me. It's not difficult for me to find him to have an antisocial attitude and mentality the way I did. But I would be negligent as a father if I didn't warn him about the dangers that can come from an interaction with police officers. So I try to teach him to judge everyone individually, don't paint with a broad brush, and mainly, as I said earlier, just focus on being a good human being. If you focus on just being a good human being, and like Josh said, and you work hard, everything pretty much will fall in place for you.
What are some of the challenges you face, CaNon?
Raising kids now has got to be much more difficult than when I was growing up, because it's hard to stay in the know of what's going on with them. The technology, they're so much more advanced in it than I am. And not just because of my removal from society, being incarcerated. It's just, this is their generation. This is what they know. This is the way they communicate. So that's probably one of the biggest challenges. That, and I worry so much about about drug usage, because it seems to be something that's glorified in rap music, and it's one of the things I really don't like that, because they have this ear. And when I was growing up, Rakim and KRS-One, they weren't rapping about getting high, so that's my biggest thing, because drugs have been self-destructive in my life from a lot of different angles. So I probably worry about that more than anything.
Okay. Josh, what challenges do you face as a father?
I think mine or split. I take one from Kennard. The technology, is, you see how it's advancing. I'm 31. It was way different then than it is now. You know what I'm saying? Everything's more advanced. Everything's, you can do a lot more with technology, and from Facebook to Twitter to Instagram, social media, that kind of thing. Like, you don't know what it's gonna look like 5 to 10 years from now. So technology, and one of my personal things that I'm not struggling with it, but it is a day-to-day process that I'm learning to deal with, just based off the decisions that I made as a young man and growing up, and still learning to this day. Both of my children are by different women, so being on one accord in 2 different households, like I said, so just co-parenting and dealing with that, and the struggles of that, and the ins and outs of that, what comes with that. Just co-parenting with like I said, two different situations. Some days are good, some days are bad, but as long as my son and my daughter are both taken care of, I'm fine with that. But like I said, just maneuvering, between mothers, what I'm saying, when it comes with the children.
Last question. What is the fondest memory of your father, Josh?
Of my father?
Yep.
Why you hit me with that one?
Oh, you got some.
I mean, I got a lot. I got a few, but it's just, what I'm saying? I would say me and him, we used to wrestle and stuff like that. He would come pick me up. Like I said, my dad lived in Charlotte, so he would come, commute back and forth between Charlotte and Greenville, taking me, picking me up, going to get ice cream, reading comic books together.
Yep.
Just, I mean, you know what I'm saying? So just a few, name a few.
All right, CaNon.
Yeah, it's probably a lot. I think probably my most fondest moment though is probably when me and my dad had a real heart-to-heart talk, and I was an adult, and I just always appreciated his honesty. And one thing I learned from him that was just, I've learned quite a few things, but one thing that really stands out and I always keep with me is how he was never, no matter what, he always spoke good about my mother. Even though they weren't together, he always, sometimes he would get ready to drop me off and he would just tell me, "CaNon, go in the house and pinch your mama, just aggravate her a little bit. And then when she gets to fussing, just tell her, Ma, I love you." It was, and as a man now at 44 years old, I can really appreciate him wanting to make sure I understand how important my mother was for me to have. And that's probably one of the fondest things I have, because it just doesn't get any better than that. When your father, they don't have to be together. They probably have their arguments and this and that, but never did it interfere with what he felt he needed to teach his son.
I forgot one question. One more question. Being the man that you are today, who helped you get there? CaNon?
Whew. Probably the biggest influence, my brother. My late brother was a big influence in my life. He helped me to be confident and learn to think and look forward, look at things in a forward manner, and opposed to reacting with what comes. Him, my sister's biological father, was instrumental in teaching me that if you deal with a woman, you also deal with the kids. And it's no different in how you act and treat them. And as I said with my daddy, it's just, you just always remind your kids that your mother, no matter, I mean, love me too, but always love mom. So, and my grandfather was just a beacon of manhood. It was everything to me. So it was quite a few people, but those four people, they just really, they had major impacts, influences in my life.
Okay, Josh?
My dad, he taught me, he taught me lessons, life lessons, and how to move as a man. But I think the sole person would be my mom. My mom was there with me every step of the way. She taught me, the best way she could. Like I said, growing up in a single parent home, spent majority of the time with my mother. She taught me, how to pray, how to treat a woman, how to talk to a woman, how to pay your bills, how to cook, how to clean, how to, what I'm saying, just how to be a man in that sense of the way, in that sense of the matter. And she covered me in every aspect. Financially, through prayer, through taking care of me, and what I'm saying, just my mom is my biggest influence, and the reason why I am the way I am today. who I am today.
All right. Is there anything else y'all would like to add before we close?
I just thank you for having me. Appreciate you.
Yeah, I'm very appreciative of you inviting me and having me on here for us to be able to talk about and have good things to say about our fathers, about other Black men.
Correct, 100%.
All right.
That's very important.
All right. I would like to thank you for coming in today, CaNon and Josh. I really do appreciate it.
All right.
No problem.
And with that being said, and all minds are clear, this is Queenie Clem with Queenie's Book Talk and Reviews. Happy reading and happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day to all the
Thank you.
fathers.
Y'all take care. Take care, bro.